Assalamu alaikum. The topic of my today's lecture is making effective speech or presentation. So let's see what does that involve. Firstly, whenever you have to make some speech in front of public, or you have to make some presentation in front of the people, maybe that's your class, or maybe that involves a number of classes. No matter what that is, you need to keep in mind firstly the audience, and you must try to come up with an audience-centered approach. Now, what is audience-centered approach? That means that no matter what decision you make about the speech, now decisions involve many things, like what language would that be in which you would talk, and what kind of a material you would be setting for your speech or for your presentation. In each and every decision that you would take, you have to keep in mind the audience, and that must be audience-centered, because that's your audience which is important, and you have to give that importance to your audience, and you have to show that up to them that this is for them and they are significant. Now, what would make them feel that they are significant would be the different ways in which you would connect to them. The more ways you could find to connect to them, the more interested they would be in your speech and presentation, and the more ways they would be able to identify to you, the more interested they would be, and that would maintain and keep their interest in the presentation or in the speech. So firstly, you need to think about the audience, and then you are going to take each and every decision regarding the style of your speech, and regarding the material that you would be writing, and the choice of the language, and many other things. Moving on. Now, these are the different points that you need to consider. For example, firstly, you need to think about the audience, like what would be the number of them, like who they would be, to which community do they belong to, what kind of nationality or culture do they have, and what would be their number. Would the number be small or large? Because that's going to influence the various decisions that you would be taking about the speech or the presentation. And what kind of formality or informality would that involve? Now, when we talk about the formal or informal meeting, तो उसमें ये नहीं होता, ये कोई बाइनरी अपोजिशन नहीं है कि अगर कोई चीज़ एक फॉर्मल नहीं है तो डेफिनेटली वो इनफॉर्मल होगी, अच्छा ये इनफॉर्मल नहीं है तो डेफिनेटली वो फॉर्मल होगी. तो हमारे यहाँ हम ज़्यादा बाइनरी अपोजिशन में बात कर रहे होते हैं कि अगर कोई इफ़ दिस इज़ नॉट राइट तो डेफिनेटली दिस वुड बी रॉन्ग. नो, दैट्स नॉट द केस. फॉर्मेलिटी के भी डिफरेंट लेवल्स होते हैं, इनफॉर्मेलिटी के भी लेवल्स होते हैं. फॉर्मल वुड बी लाइक there would be something which is formal, which is more formal, which is less formal, and similarly the informality also involve different levels. And an effective speaker and a tactful speaker, he would always consider these levels and degrees, and he would be taking care of all these, and then he would be coming up with the relevant material and the choice of the language and the different other matters that involve that are pertinent to the speech or the presentation at hand. So that's very important to get to know about the kind of formality does that what kind of formality does that involve, the particular speech or the presentation that you are going to undertake. Secondly, you need to consider, and you need to have some knowledge about the understanding level of the people to whom you are going to talk to. कि अच्छा, जिस टॉपिक पे तुम बात करने जा रहे हो उसके बारे में उनका नॉलेज कितना है, क्या ये बिल्कुल एक नया टॉपिक है, उनके लिए बिल्कुल नया टॉपिक होगा. तो तुम्हारी कोशिश होनी चाहिए कि यू वुड ट्राई टू बी स्टार्टिंग विद अ वेरी बेसिक नॉलेज, try to be simple and try to explain and elaborate a lot and come up with different examples so that the points would be clear to them. और अगर उनका ऑलरेडी उसके बारे में कोई प्री रिक्विजिट नॉलेज है तो तुम उसी पे बिल्ड करोगे अगला वाला नॉलेज. बट एनी वेज यू नीड टू नो अबाउट देयर प्रीवियस नॉलेज कि अच्छा ये टॉपिक जिस पे तुम बात करने जा रहे हो कितना कॉम्प्लेक्स है और कितना नया है उन लोगों के लिए, या वो ऑलरेडी फेमिलियर हैं. इसी तरह से अगर वो बहुत ज़्यादा फेमिलियर हैं तो भी तुम्हें पता होना चाहिए कि तुम फिर क्या उनसे बात करोगे और कैसे उसको सिग्निफिकेंट बनाओगे, सो दैट दे माइट नॉट गेट बोर्ड. मोस्टली जब आपका वाइवा हो रहा होता है, वाइवा में आपके डीन्स बैठे होते हैं, एचओडीज बैठे होते हैं, एक्सपर्ट्स होते हैं, तो वहाँ पे यू नीड टू थिंक अबाउट these things, like what significant thing you would be talking in here, and how much amount of knowledge do you have about that particular topic, so that if the questions come in, so you would be able to answer them. And you need to get a grasp the very deeper content, and you need to have a deep knowledge about the topic at hand. That would make you an effective speaker. If you had already considered these things and you had targeted them, only these are going to make you an effective speaker. You need to make sure that you already have done the homework about different demographic factors of the community or the people you would be talking to, including age, their education, their occupation, their gender, their marital status, their religion. Of course, you could not get to know about each and every individual, but you need to, if you have to develop an inclusive approach, you need to have a little bit idea about them कि अच्छा मैं जिनसे बात करने जा रहा हूँ उनका वो किस एज ग्रुप के लोग होंगे, एंड एज के साथ इंटरेस्ट वेरी करते हैं, नीड्स वेरी करते हैं. अगर कोई इंडिविजुअल आ रहा है यूनिवर्सिटी में किसी टॉपिक पे बात करने के लिए, कोई सेमिनार है, तो डेफिनेटली ही वुड नो दैट ही वुड बी टॉकिंग टू यूथ. सो ही नीड टू फोकस upon the interests of that youth, and you need to consider the needs of that youth, and you need to incorporate all these things into his speech. If he won't do, he won't be an effective speaker. अगर वो अपनी ही बात करेगा तो उसने किसकी बात करनी है, अपने ऑडियंस की बात करनी है, एंड ही नीड टू कीप इन माइंड द एज. अब अगर कोई जा रहा है, somebody is going to talk to in a rural community and he's about to talk to a group of farmers, you need to keep in mind their age groups that they would be belonging that they belong to, their education, and keeping in mind the occupation he would be talking, and he would be focusing upon their needs, their problems, and their desires. इसी तरह से एजुकेशन इज़ आल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि वो जिस ग्रुप से बात करने जा रहा है वो कितने एजुकेटेड हैं. ये भी उसको वेरियस डिसीजन जो उसने लेने हैं अपनी स्पीच के बारे में, उसमें if he had already done a homework on the getting to know about the education or understanding level of the people, so that's going to create an impact कि वो उनकी एजुकेशन के लिहाज से बात करेगा. अगर यूनिवर्सिटी स्टूडेंट से बात कर रहा है, या वो स्कूल के स्टूडेंट से बात कर रहा है, या वो कॉलेज स्टूडेंट से बात कर रहा है, या वो एक ग्रुप ऑफ फार्मर्स से बात कर रहा है, ही इज़ टॉकिंग टू अ ग्रुप ऑफ डॉक्टर्स, he is talking to a group of lawyers, so he need to know all these factors, and he need to do a pre-planning of all, keeping in mind these factors, so that in order to make his speech more effective. So if he would consider all these factors and he would be concerned about that, then definitely he would be going to make a mark. Otherwise he won't be. जितनी मर्जी अच्छी लैंग्वेज यूज़ कर ले, जितना मर्जी है वो रिसर्चेबल कुछ चीज़ें जो हैं वो उनको ऐड कर ले, अगर वो इन चीज़ों को कंसिडर नहीं करता और अपनी जो स्पीच है वो ऑडियंस सेंटर्ड अप्रोच नहीं अडॉप्ट करता अपनी स्पीच और प्रेजेंटेशन में, तो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम देयर आर द चांसेस दैट ही वोंट बी सक्सेसफुल. इसी तरह से जिस ग्रुप से वो बात करने जा रहा है उसमें अगर दोनों जेंडर के लोग मौजूद हैं तो ही नीड टू बी वेरी मच केयरफुल कि वो दोनों जेंडर के इंटरेस्ट की बात करेगा, उनकी अपनी सिक्योरिटीज़ इनसिक्योरिटीज़ होती हैं उनकी बात करेगा, उनकी जो नीड्स हैं उनके जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं दोनों को एड्रेस करेगा, और किसी को छोड़ेगा नहीं. जिसको वो छोड़ देगा वो they would lose their interest, and definitely when they would lose their interest, they would withdraw. They won't be the part of that setting, they won't be the part of that program or event or that speech. So he would be trying his level best to consider all these points, including the marital status too, क्योंकि marital status is important कि those people who are married and those who have children, their needs, their problems, their securities, their insecurities, they would be different from those who are not married. So you need to consider both kinds of people and need to address them. Religion is very much important. Whenever you are going to talk to a group of people, you need to see okay, you are not only going to talk to the people who belong to your own religion only, and don't come up with the example of from one particular religion. अगर तुम कुरानिक एग्जाम्पल्स कोट कर रहे हो, कुरानिक वर्सेस कोट कर रहे हो, तो कोशिश करो अच्छा अगर तुम्हें आइडिया है कि वहाँ पे क्रिश्चियन कम्युनिटी भी होगी तो बाइबल से भी कोट करो, उनके भी कुछ हिस्टोरिकल फैक्ट्स पे बात करो, so that they people would get some point to identify with you. They would feel affiliation, they would feel that okay, they are also being given importance and they are being involved into that speech or the presentation. So definitely एक inclusive approach लेके चलोगे और कोशिश करोगे कि किसी को भी you're not going to leave anybody behind. Then moving towards the next point, which is the racial, cultural and ethnic background, you would need to take care that the people you are going to talk to which culture do they belong to, and what is their ethnic background. हमारे यहाँ ethnicity, like the people you would be talking to, are they Sindhi or The next thing that you need to take care of and that you need to consider is the cultural and ethnic background of the audience that you are addressing to. You need to know that the group of people whom you would be making a speech or whom you would be making a presentation, what is their culture and what is their ethnicity. That if a group of people to whom you are going to talk to, how many people would be there, and to which kind of cultures and ethnic background do they belong to? Are they Sindhi, Balochi, Pathan, Punjabi, so on and so forth. So you need to come up firstly with an inclusive approach, and you need to address them all. You need to consider their problems, their needs, and you need to find the examples and their examples, so that everybody would feel a part of that presentation and speech, and nobody would find that he is being left out. Because if they would feel they are being left out, they won't be finding any points of identification, they won't be interested. So definitely तुम सबकी बात करोगे, बलोची की भी बात करोगे, पंजाबी की भी करोगे, and coming up with an inclusive approach. कल्चर में हम देख लेते हैं कि you need to consider कि तुम जिन लोगों से बात कर रहे हैं उनकी cultural identification क्या है, so that you won't be coming up with something which would prove to be offensive to them. इनिशियली हमें सबसे ज़्यादा यही चीज़ होती है जिसका हमें डर होना चाहिए एज अ स्पीकर, कि हम कोई ऐसी बात ना कह दें कि जो उनको ऑफेंड कर दे और हमें पता ना हो. बिकॉज ऑफ इग्नोरेंस वी वुड से समथिंग विच वुड बी ऑफेंसिव टू देम एंड विच वुड बी controversial. So we would try to get some kind of a knowledge about these things. So at least if we are not coming up with the pertinent relevant examples, we are not actually coming up with something which would prove to be controversial and offensive for them. Okay, next is you need to be concerned कि where you are going to talk to as a sender or as a speaker, this is your responsibility to take care and to get to know about the kind of environment that would be, because environment affects. हमने पहले भी बात की थी, आपका physical और technical barrier erect हो जाता है अगर आपके environment में problem होते हैं. So firstly you need to know कि अच्छा जिस setting में बात करने जा रहे हो वो कितनी informal या formal है. Now formal informal, I already told you that this involves degrees, this involves different levels. I remember that there was once a Viva which was about to be held. The Vivas are all the time they are being held in a very formal setting in Meri University where I study and I'm doing my PhD. They had a very formal setting and had an auditorium and very pre-planned things, and a very very formal setting where the people present their topics. So that setting also had an impact upon the people, and they also try to come up with a very utmost formality of the things in terms of their dressing, in terms of the language choices, and in terms of the different devices that they would use. So keeping in mind the setting, they always try to be very much prepared. And if अब क्या हुआ था कि एक दफ़ा once there was a viva which was about to happen on some particular day, and due to some unavoidable reasons वो उस वाली setting में जो एक room था जहाँ पे होता था वहाँ पे नहीं हो सका. अब हुआ क्या कि I noticed कि जो the people who had to perform, who had to present their topics on that day, they had to they were brought into some other room which was maybe that was a classroom, और वहाँ पे सारी उन्होंने setting की. तो the people they were very much relaxed. वो जो students थे वो इतने relaxed थे and they were so happy कि अच्छा उस वाली very utmost formal setting में हमारा वाइवा नहीं हो रहा, ये setting काफ़ी comfortable है, this is very much relaxed, तो हम ज़रा बड़े easy होकर यहाँ पे हम present करेंगे. तो at that day I realized कि okay that actually makes an impact, and that actually is a very significant point कि आपकी जो setting है उसका भी आप पे बड़ा impact होता है, and that actually is very much important for the presenter. So this is important for the speaker. As a speaker, this is important for you to get to know about the kind of a setting where you would be presenting and where you would be speaking. Would that be an open air, कोई सेमिनार रूम होगा, कहाँ पे सेटिंग कौन सी वाली होगी जिसमें तुमने जाके बोलना होगा, उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या हो सकता है. नेक्स्ट सीटिंग के साथ ही दैट वुड यू नीड टू नो अबाउट द सीटिंग प्लान, हाउ द ऑडियंस वुड बी सीटेड देयर, और तुम कितने लेवल एक एलिवेटेड लेवल से उनसे बात कर रहे होगे, और स्पीकर के दरमियान और ऑडियंस के दरमियान कितना डिस्टेंस होगा. बिकॉज दैट सेड कि द मोर physically close you are to the audience when you are making a speech, the more you will be able to get closer to them psychologically, and you will be able to create an impact upon them psychologically. So बड़े elevated level पे बात करोगे तो finding the points of identification So the next thing that you need to assure is that your audience is visible to you, and you must take care that if there are not any like pillars or any other kinds of barrier which are making this visibility, which are keeping the audience hidden, so that would create discomfort for the speaker and discomfort for the listeners too. So you must try to have such kind of a seating plan, and must try to ensure that the audience would be seated in a way where they would be visible to you and you would be visible to them. Next point, temperature, a very important significant indicator of success or failure, because I would say if there is too much hotter temperature or too much colder temperature, audience won't be easy, and if they won't be easy and comfortable, then definitely they won't be attentive, and they won't be trying to, they would not be interested. So as a speaker, this is your obligation to try to see that where that meeting is about to take place, that must have a comfortable temperature too. If they that won't be, you have to then you have to make a very hard effort on your part to maintain their interest. Distractions, definitely the listeners, they are easily being distracted by any distraction. If the room where the meeting is about to take place, where you're going to speak, if that has large windows and there are no curtains, definitely the people who would be passed by those windows, the audience would be could not help being distracted. And if there is some noise around, if you would be talking to them, definitely that would distract them, and that they would be uneasy, and that would be hard for you to maintain their interest. So you must take care as a speaker, so that there won't be any distractions, in order to make your speech a success, in order to make your presentation a success. If you are presenting and when you're presenting into your classrooms, the groups who are presenting, they must take care that the your projector is that must not be out of order, and that is functional, and your devices are set, and everything is ready, so that it's not creating disturbance. For that matter, no matter how much effective you had presented, or how much effective you had prepared your presentation or speech, that won't help if there are some kinds of distractions around, or if any device that gets out of order, or any other emergence of the problem, that's going to have a bad effect upon your presentation or speech. So you must be prepared, and you must have done the homework already. Needs and expectations, wherever you are presenting, you need to take care, and you need to consider the needs of the people. If they are taking time out of their lives and they are coming to attend that particular meeting, and they're coming to listen to you, so they would already be expecting something new, something fruitful, and something that would be beneficial for them. And you as a speaker, you need to fulfill their expectations, and you need to keep in mind their needs, why you are being there. And that won't be like they would be feeling after attending that presentation or speech that that was a waste of time. They would be coming up with such kind of conclusion that it was fruitful, and their time has not been wasted. So next thing that you need to take care of, the first point says that you have to keep your audience in mind. We already had talked about that. Connect that back to the thing that I already had talked about. Second point is that you have to speak slowly, means your pace must be that much slow, so that the audience would feel it easy to follow you, and the audience would come along with you, and the audience would understand you easily. Your enunciation must be very much clear. You are going to pronounce the words, and your utterance must be very much clear, so that they could easily understand, and they should not confuse the words. You as a speaker are going to show a vigor, energy, and you must be enthusiastic enough, so your audience must also feel enthusiastic and energetic, because there is a relation between the speaker and the listener. If the speaker is sounding tired, disinterested, so that's going to directly affect the audience, and the audience would become more tired and more disinterested. So you have to come up whenever you're about to present, whenever you are about to make a speech, just start off with an energy, and just show your excitement and enthusiasm on the presentation, on the speech, in order, and that would involve your listeners. Otherwise they would. The next point is the use of the gestures to elaborate your points. So the gestures must be appropriate and the gestures must support your verbal part of the message. Because I already told you that if that won't support the verbal part of the message, that would confuse the listener. So you must make use of the appropriate gestures because they are very effective tools and they would help you to clarify your points. And next, maintaining eye contact with your audience. It's very much important, very much important, because if you are able to maintain an eye contact with the audience, it would it would add to your credibility and it would make you a more effective speaker. Because if you are able to maintain eye contact with your audience, firstly, your audience would feel that they are the part of the presentation, they are the part of the speech, and they are important and significant, and that you have involved them in whatever you are saying. So they would be interested in whatever you say. Secondly, they would believe in your credibility, that whatever you are saying, that is credible information. And thirdly, by making an eye contact, you could also keep an eye upon the feedback, upon the non-verbals of the people, and those non-verbals would help you out in adjusting your speech, because through the non-verbals you may judge that either your audience is interested or they are losing their interest. If they are losing their interest, then we would try to come up with some strategy to maintain their interest in the speech at hand or presentation at hand. And their non-verbals, do they suggest that they are getting tired? Okay, through that you could see okay, maybe that's converting into over communication, so you must stop off. Or through their expressions, quizzical expressions, you may judge that maybe the points are not much clear to them and they are confused, so you may get a chance to clarify the points. So that has the, I would say, if you are able to make an eye contact with your audience, that actually is going to benefit you a lot, because through that you are going to prove yourself as an effective speaker and you are able to adjust your speech accordingly. Okay, on the other hand, if you're unable to make an eye contact, then what happens? Firstly, if you're unable to make an eye contact, your audience would sense that you are getting underconfident. Secondly, your audience would not believe in what you say. They won't believe that you are credible enough because you are not able to make an eye contact. And thirdly, you won't be able to judge through their feedback and you won't be able to adjust your speech accordingly. So try to make eye contact with the people. That has a strategy too. In the upcoming topic, there's much there are much detailed points about eye contact which you would discuss. So for today, that's I think that's enough for you to get to know about eye contact thing. Coming to the next point, do not memorize your presentation. That's very much important, to not to memorize each and every bit of your presentation or speech, because that has dire consequences. If you would have memorized the speech or the presentation, firstly, your style would be mechanical. Secondly, you won't be able to involve your audience. You won't be able to talk to them. Rather, you would be more concerned and you would be more occupied with your in recalling the things, and you would be a little bit anxious too, so that you may not forget the material. And that anxiety is also not going to do good to you as a speaker. So don't memorize the presentation. Rather, there are some ideal ways to come up, like making an outline, so that outline would help you out to keep a record of and to keep a track of whatever you have to say and whatever you had said earlier. So that is an excellent thing, to make an outline and then speak spontaneously on that. Anyways, for that, I would suggest that you go through this topic, modes of delivery. It's there on page number 56 of the reader that I had already provided you. So see to that, because that actually has some very effective ways and effective modes of delivery for different situations and for different kinds of speeches and presentations. So must go through that. Moving on. Next point says that you have to rehearse your speech, a presentation or speech, until you are comfortable. Rehearsal and practice, that's a must. And what I would say, that's the first, you're getting prepared and getting enough sufficient practice is your first line of attack. It's your first strategy, and that strategy always prove very much effective. Whenever you have done enough practice and enough preparation, you would always you won't be worried about. So do sufficient practice, because practice would give you more confidence. And time your presentation too. While rehearsing, see that it's not exceeding the time limit, as well as try pronouncing the words or the phrases which are hard for you to pronounce. So do practice of them too. Next, if you could do, record your speech and listen to that. When you would record your speech or presentation and then listen to it, so that would actually be helpful for you, because you would get to know and you would critically evaluate your volume, your rate, your tone, your attitude, and your style. And you would see and you would assess yourself that either you are not, or some points where you are not very much clear, you are going to ensure over here that your listener is getting clearly, and your listener is easily following you, and each and every point is clear to him or her, and your speed is not so much rapid that is making things difficult, that is making things not easy for the listener to follow. So record your speech and listen, critically evaluate it, and see it whether your vocal cues and your visual cues, whether they are right and appropriate or not, and then work at those. Next, if that's possible for you, go visit the venue and see the place where you would be delivering your presentation or where you would be making a speech. See the whole environment and see the seating place, and particularly go to that position, go to the rostrum or the dice or the place. Either you would be making the speech while standing there, or you are being seated and then you are delivering a speech. No matter what that is, you would already be going there and you would be doing it once or twice. So I would say that really helps the people, and that really gives them more confidence, and that actually help them to, when they are already through the whole thing, and they had checked for the temperature and the lightning, and they had already seen the seating arrangement and the visibility thing, and they had already talked on the microphone, and they had seen the place and had been through that once or twice. That would actually is going to help them a lot. I think 80% that helps the people, and that would help them in being more effective. Next thing, which is very much important, that says that you should not provide the audience handout materials before you begin. Okay, that's not all the time very much essential and necessary that you have to provide the handout material, but in some cases you have to, where you the time, because of the time constraint, you could not explain each and every bit, and there are some points which are very much important and crucial for the understanding of the audience, and you prepare the handout material for the better understanding of the listeners. So try now to provide them at the very start when you start off with your presentation. I've seen many people who do that at the very start, but I've also seen that there is a tendency on the part of the listeners that as soon as they are being given the handout materials, they would start reading it. They won't be attentive to whatever the speaker is saying to them, rather they would read that. ऐसा होता है बिल्कुल। आपको जो ही हैंड आउट मटेरियल मिलता है, आपकी अटेंशन फ़ौरन से उस पर जाती है, आप उसको पढ़ना शुरू कर देते हो, और विदाउट कंसिडरिंग कि अच्छा जी तुम्हारा स्पीकर तुमसे क्या बात कर रहा है, और बहुत सारे टाइम पे आपको ये देना भी पड़ता है। आई वुड कोट माई एग्जाम्पल, वंस आई हैड टू present in an international conference, or that conference was not that was being held in some outside country, in some foreign country, एंड वहाँ पे क्या था कि आई एक्सपेक्टेड, और थोड़ा सा जो मेरा होमवर्क था उससे मुझे पता चला था कि देर वुड बी अ वेरी लेस नंबर ऑफ पाकिस्तानीज आउट देर, rather most of them would be Americans and Africans and belonging to some other countries, and there would be the language barrier too, because though my presentation was in English, but the examples and the topic on which I had worked on, that was about my culture, and most of the examples were in Urdu and Punjabi, and I had to translate them, but I could not tell them the translations at that moment when I was presenting. So I discussed it with my teacher, and she suggested to prepare the handout materials with all the explanations and the translations, but not to give them at the very start, rather to where there are some helpers out there, so give them and tell them where they had to provide that material. When you would be going to those examples, only at that time they are going to provide that handout material to the audience, to the people, so that they would see for more clarity. They see that for more clarity, and that worked, that was successful. लेकिन अगर तुम बिल्कुल शुरू में ये कर देते हो, तो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम चांसेस यही है कि वो लोग तुम्हें नहीं सुनेंगे, वो तुम्हें नहीं सुनेंगे, तो डेफिनेटली दैट वोंट वर्क, एंड दैट वोंट बी मच